In this video, we'll be discussing an interesting Spyderco collaboration that's part of Spyderco's ethnic series of knives, the Hungarian Folder. Today I'm going to have some help from my very enthusiastic friend, Mr. Booya. He's also a very big Spyderco fan. Hello, Mr. Booya, how are you?
Yo man, I'm fantastic, and I'm totally ready to rock this review. Booyah!
Okay, well, the Spyderco Hungarian Folder was designed by a Hungarian architect whose name is on the screen. I'm not exactly sure how to say it.
Oh, come on, bro. Don't wuss out like that on us. Say the name.
Well, I don't want to maybe offend someone or come off sounding ignorant. Why don't you try to say it?
Okay. It's, you know what? Go ahead. Never mind.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Booya. Anyway, Gabor Zakoni is a Hungarian architect and knife enthusiast who came to Spyderco with the idea of a Hungarian folder in the traditional style. They were interested, so he had some custom knives made and ended up working with Spyderco over a few years to bring this design into the ethnic series. The design is based on traditional slip-joint Hungarian folding knives like this one, whose name is annotated above. No, I'm not going to try to pronounce that. Do you want to give it a try, Mr. Booya? You can see the Spyderco Hungarian similarities in the handle shape and the rounded and polished bolsters. The Spyderco's blade shape is similar, but has a straight spine, and the blade is a little bit taller to accommodate the Spydey hole. The blade's edge retains that characteristic upswept tip. It's quite an elegant and graceful shape overall. Being a modern Spyderco, this rendition has the added convenience of the round opening hole, and the pocket clip, and liner lock. And here are the specs. The blade is 3.63 inches, blade thickness is 3 millimeters, blade steel is CTS XHP, weight is 4.4 ounces, closed length 4.83 inches, and overall length 8.46 inches, and country of origin is Taiwan. Here are some size comparisons to give you a better idea of size and thickness of the Hungarian folder. Here it is with the Spyderco Paramilitary 2, and here it is with the Spyderco Endura 4, and here it is with a Buck 110. And here is the Zero Tolerance 561. And here they are closed with the pocket clip side showing. Here you can see how the thickness compares. From left to right, it's the Spyderco Paramilitary 2, Endura 4, Hungarian Folder, Buck 110, and Zero Tolerance 561. I haven't really used my Hungarian Folder that much yet. I have used it to open mail and packages, and it's excellent for that. The full flat ground 3mm blade came razor sharp out of the box, and it slices through paper effortlessly. I've also used it to cut up some cardboard boxes for recycling, and it made quick work out of those too. I'm no steel expert, but the CTS XHP steel is very good in this knife. I really like it a lot, in this and in other knives I've tried with that steel.
Booyah! That's XHP steel right there, and it rocks, bro!
The pocket clip of the Hungarian Folder is unique to the knife, and it follows the lines of the handle perfectly. It flares out at the end just enough to slip over a pocket, but not enough to be obnoxious or get in the way. And the tip of the clip is also nicely rounded so it doesn't catch on fabrics easily. The clip has firm tension, but it glides out of the pocket easily thanks to the smooth, polished G10 underneath it. The pocket clip is excellent.
That pocket clip rocks too, bro! Booyah!
As I mentioned, the blade is a very useful shape with plenty of belly, but also a very useful tip. The 3mm blade tapers to a very fine point, and the edge grind on mine is pretty much perfect. And it did come razor sharp out of the box. The blade really is great too.
Oh yeah, bro, that blade rocks. That is sick. Booyah! Come on, man, bump it. Come on, bump it.
The handle is nicely shaped to fit in the hand comfortably. It's open pillar construction and does have a lanyard hole. There is a bit of jimping on the lock bar here, but it doesn't really help much with traction. And there's no jimping in the thumb ramp area. But the rounded bolsters offer a nice shelf for the thumb to rest on. You can also rest the thumb right on the blade's thumb ramp for a good grip too. This is good for detail cutting. I'd say for extended hard use cutting, the Hungarian might not be the most comfortable handle to use due to the somewhat sharp corners here. But for light to medium cutting, it's very comfortable in the hand. I like it a lot.
Oh yeah, that's a good handle right there. Booyah!
Steven, would you please keep it down? I'm trying to talk to Diane on the phone.
Okay, Mom.
I want to mention something else here. The Hungarian folder is made in Taichung, Taiwan, and in case you haven't handled a Taiwanese Spyderco, please check them out because the fit and finish on these is unbelievable. Most Taichung made Spydercos are basically custom quality. Spyderco does not have these built in Taiwan to save a buck. These are top quality knives built by a small shop that takes great pride in their work, and it really shows. And just look at the fit and finish here. It's excellent. I really can't find a flaw with it.
Oh yeah, man, Taichung's fit and finish is off the chain. I mean, look at this. Are you kidding me? Booyah!
On to the lock. The Hungarian folder has a liner lock. The lock bar is quite thick and sturdy, and it has some jimping on it to help get some traction when releasing the lock. Mine is very solid with no play in any direction. Hey, what's wrong, Mr. Booya? Can't I get a booyah for the liner lock?
Sorry, bro. I can't do it. I can't even close this thing with one hand. That ain't tactical.
Okay. I know the liner lock is very difficult to disengage one-handed. You can see here how there's very little cutout to access the lock bar. This is unusual for a Spyderco because most Spideys have large cutouts here and easy locks to manipulate. But Mr. Booya, you have to understand the reasoning behind this design. The traditional Hungarian folders were slip joints, and they didn't have locks at all, so there was no need for them to have a large cutout. And since this is a tribute to those designs, Mr. Zacconi decided to keep the lines of the knife looking clean and original. This knife should probably be considered a two-handed closer. It is possible to close it one-handed, but it's not easy. But considering the dressy, classy look of this knife, I consider it to be a large gentleman's folder rather than a hard use or tactical folder. So the lock is just kind of a bonus compared to the slip joints. And yeah, it might take an extra second or two to close the blade, but you get an authentic looking version of the original Hungarian folders. This is a pure reinvention of that classic style and a tangible link to the rich history and artistry that these knives represent.
I totally get it now, bro. And you know what? I can dig it. Booyah!
To wrap it up, the Hungarian folder really is a beautiful piece of work. An extremely well-made and highly functional cutting tool. Not the fastest to close and maybe not the best for long-term hard use, but if you can accept those small sacrifices, this is a graceful and refined rendition of a traditional classic. And I applaud Spyderco for bringing us such interesting knives that bring the essence of another time and place into a contemporary and effective package like this. And now, here is a close-up look at the Spyderco Hungarian folder.